Here we are, Chapter 5, Part 2, or Hands-on 2. What we're going to do now is we're going to create a pivot table. Please know you cannot create a pivot table from a subtotal worksheet. So we need to change worksheet. So I'm going to go to the next worksheet. Here I have all my data. Now I'm going to add a pivot table. You just need to click in any cell down below in your data. I'm just going to go ahead and go A5 since that's what I give you in the instructions. Go to Insert, Recommended Tables. Do be cautious that you select the right table. So it says sum of units sold by category. Now for my example right now, that's the one we're going to use. But I'm going to scroll clear to the bottom. I see another that says sum of units sold wholesale. Same name, except for it says by material. So if you're not sure, hover over one of the pivot tables until you see the correct name. That'll be important when you're working in my IT lab. So I'm going to click the table and say OK. Let me zoom in so that we can see the table a little better. By default, Excel names the table Sheet 1, Sheet 2, Sheet 3. So I'm going to select the Sheet tab and rename it Pivot Table. Excel just gives you a generic name for your Sheet tab. Give it a meaningful name. My IT lab will tell you to assign a name. That's just same as renaming. So I'm going to rename my table. Instead of calling it Pivot Table 1, I am going to come up here and type in Units Sold Wholesale. Click enter. Let me scroll out just a smidge. Because what I want to do now is I want to build some columns and build some rows. Now remember, you could have hundreds of thousands of columns and rows, or actually, well, you can have 16,000 columns, but you could have hundreds of thousands of rows because there's what, 1,048,000? So pivot tables, great way to analyze a lot of data really quick. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come over to my fields table box. If you don't see the box, like right now I don't see it, click inside your table. There it is. And I'm going to grab materials and I'm going to move materials down to column. That's my column headings, each like leather, nylon, recycled plastic. So those are my column headings. And I'm going to grab type and I'm going to move that down to row. Now it first says the category type, so backpacks. Underneath the category, then it gives you a different one. My IT lab will have you drag one of these and put it between the two. So you get your little line. Let's see if I can do that. So you get a little line, see that right in there? Just drag it in and it'll work great. So now I have the table. Is that what I want it to look like? Maybe not. So I'm going to remove the materials. I'm just going to grab, let me show you. There's 3 different ways to do this. I can click on it and I can say remove field. That's one way. I can come up here and select the check mark to unselect it. That will remove it. Or I can just grab it and drag it off and it will remove the field as well. Let's take type and move that up to our columns. Okay, that looks pretty good so far. Let's change some of our values here. Make sure you are down in the numbers because I'm going to do some accounting format. Doesn't make any sense to try to do accounting format on text. Select down somewhere in your table. Go to your field settings, which is in your active field group on the Analyze tab. You get this nice little pop-up box right here, and I'm going to name Units Sold by Type Wholesale. Once I've typed the custom name in, I'm going to go to the number format, select Accounting, 0 decimal places, and I'm going to get rid of the $sign. Say OK and OK. Now my table is formatted. Next, what I want to do is I want to get rid of this row label and column label. It doesn't do me any good. So I'm going to click in A4 and type category because these are the categories: backpacks, duffel bags, messenger bags. Might as well name them. Likewise, let's get rid of this column label here and we're going to call that type. Click enter. Let's center B4 through E4. I'm going to do that by going to my home tab and clicking in the alignment group, click center. Now this next formula is called Get Pivot Data. If you want to read more about it, starts on page 331 in your book. It may or may not be on the Moss exam. I haven't seen it before, but if it's there, which wouldn't surprise me, it would be a pretty good idea to know what it was about. All right, so we're going to use the formula, and I'm going to give you a really simple way to do that. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this bags data because what I want to know is I want to know the total units sold right here. I also want to know the total handbags sold. Really simple. Click equals. Go over to your pivot table. This is my total way down here, E10. Click in E10, hit enter. Now when I go back, look, it says added the formula. I didn't type it in. Get pivot data. Unit sold wholesale. Also gives me the sheet name, which is the pivot table. I know it's a sheet name because it has that exclamation point. It means it's coming from that sheet. Then the cell reference A3. Pulls the data field and it pulls the pivot table. All right, let's do that again. Enter, I'm going to go equals total handbags. So I go over to my pivot table, handbags, total handbags is going to be over here in E7. Click E7, that looks good. Now, one of the things that's maybe a negative about pivot tables is they don't automatically update when you change things. So we want to put some data in, then update. All right, so here on my bags data sheet, I'm going to change E5, number of units sold, I'm going to change to 12,000, and I'm going to press enter. Now, the record in row 5 will change. My grand total on the bottom of this will change. So I'm going to hit enter. Notice it was just that record in row 5 changed. I'm going to come over to my pivot table. It says 768. Okay, that's the number. This hasn't updated. Also, let me come back over here and look. Total handbags is 270,000. Let's see if that changes. So go back to my pivot table. On my Analyze tab, I'm going to go refresh. Now my pivot table should update as soon as I push this button. And it does. Now let's go back to my bags. And that changed too. It was 270, now it's 273. So it did go up a little bit. Cool. Go ahead and save your file. I'll meet you on the next video.